From Carolla One Studios in Glendale, California, this is the Adam Carolla Show. Adam's guest today, the CEO of Viome, Naveen Jain. With Gina on news, Bald Brian on sound effects, and a spirited round of blah, blah, blah. And now, heartbroken about Ellen's show ending. Adam Carolla.
Yeah, get it on. Got to get it on. No choice. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. We love that about you, right, Gina Grad?
That's right.
And Bald Brian. I also know a lot about building. Brian's got a bucket of his own piss with him.
That wasn't for public consumption, but here we are.
Well, not consumption.
Yeah,
No.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
Got
like in like a big Tang bottle.
to collect it for a day.
It's big and orange. Yeah, 24-hour urine analysis collection before I can start Avastin again because it's hard on your kidneys. They got to measure the protein in your urine.
Mm-hmm. So how much...
I've done this 4 or 5 times.
How much do you do? I've never seen the bucket, or I don't remember seeing the bucket.
Yeah, I don't remember a jug.
Really?
I don't remember the jug.
Have you guys ever done the 24-hour urine collection?
No, but from you, like you bringing it in.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if I've timed it for the weekend in the past. You know what I
think,
mean?
I think
Yeah.
you have. This seems
Probably.
like something new. How much urine do we put out in 24 hours?
Depends on how much I drink, but I can fill that thing halfway.
Don't shake it.
It's a
It'll gross me out.
gallon plus.
Gallon-ish,
Yeah.
size.
Yeah,
This thing's robust.
Oh, it's still, that's
come on,
nothing,
Brian.
Ryan.
Nobody wanted to see that. Nobody wanted to talk about it.
Don't put it on the console.
TMI, bro.
Yeah. TM, too much? TMI.
know.
Yeah. All right. So I got a clip from The View. And the reason I have a clip from The View is I don't really know how my TV works, but sometimes I just turn it on and it's got a bunch of shows that I could be watching.
Sure.
And I saw The View up there last night, and I was like, well, I got to click on The View. So I never watched The View, but I do like to check in
With the ladies.
every 2 years to see what
Sure.
the ladies are up to. I think it's like season 21.
Still not much.
I've done it a few times. Whoopi Goldberg's been sort of hosting for about 14 years, if memory
okay.
serves.
Okay, I was going to say, who was your cast? Because it's been quite a turnstile.
When I did it, it was like Meredith Vieira
I
or
love
somebody,
her.
whoever it was. It was
Yeah.
the original concept.
Okay.
But it's also, I have this thought about daytime TV for unemployable people. Doesn't really have to raise to the standard or the bar of a Bill Maher
Right.
or Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel. It's a little, the
Broad
audience
appeal.
isn't quite as discerning.
If
Right.
you know what I mean?
Broad.
So I've been saying for years, it seems like Whoopi's kind of checked out a little bit.
Yeah, she's not into it.
She's making, I heard, close to $6 million a year. Yeah, but I checked in, and Whoopi's even further checked out. So I'll play you. I'll play you. This is her throwing. They're going to have some hot J-Lo, Ben Affleck talk. So we'll listen to the throw, but as it goes, I'll tell you visually what's going on. But I think you can kind of hear it too.
17 years after they split up, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have reunited for a vacation in Montana, and a lot of people are excited that they're back together again.
She seems into it.
Not
What do you
Whoopi.
think,
Angry.
Sonny?
I just really wonder, what happened to that ring? I know that she gave it back. Has he kept it? Did he keep it in a vault? Is he going to give it back to her? I'm just all in. I just can't wait to hear
Well, let's
what
ask
happens
Sarah.
next.
Maybe she knows.
I'm
Sarah,
all in too, Sonny. I
do
feel
you-
the same
yeah.
way about this. They come together in this fire and light,
Whoopi went
and
to
they
sleep.
give in to their
I think
passion.
Whoopi's
They are going to
passive-aggressively
happen, and I will
protesting.
sit here and watch the whole thing.
She's doing a bit.
Okay.
Fairy tale
Megan?
wedding.
Next.
What do you got anything?
They went to Montana, and that is where I went on my honeymoon. And it's a very romantic, gorgeous. There's me and my husband. Yeah, I love that they went to Montana. So anyone who wants to go on a romantic
Excellent.
vacation, Big Sky's it. So that's my take on this.
Okay, Joy.
Welcome.
You're the queen of romance the second time around. As I relax myself here, just go ahead and what do you think? I'm just going to rest my eyes while you tell me.
This is a fairy tale
They
romance.
should have named me
Stormy.
Yeah, right.
Right.
You know what? I'm
So
not one
here's
to talk,
some-
but their track record is not the most scintillating to
They
watch.
burn
okay?
for each other.
Oh my God.
She says she's going to take a nap while
She
Joy.
did it twice.
My
Gives
first
her
instinct
input.
was Whoopi didn't want a producer foisted this upon her over her objections, and she's like, "Fuck it, I'm passive aggressively protesting."
But they have to do this shit all day, every day because it's.
I don't
like,
know why. That's just what it seemed to me.
She wanted to take a nap.
She took a nap.
She took a nap.
And I hear you, Brian, and I agree that she doesn't care about this subject. But remember, not too long ago, Meghan McCain went on some jag about politics, and when they threw back to Whoopi, she goes, "Okay, anyway." So she's doing this.
Well, so I have a couple questions. First off, uninterested. Fine. I do corporate gigs. Not always the most interested, but I get paid.
Yeah.
So I feign interest.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Tend
You
to
can get it up for that 45 minutes.
sit up, possibly shave
Interested.
Yeah.
beforehand,
Right.
put a little gel in the hair.
Yeah.
So this thing where it's like she's not interested, but she is literally, I was going to say asleep at the wheel, but she's asleep at the wheel.
Yeah.
She's just checked out. And the other thing I always say is, why is Whoopi the one doing the throws? She's
Okay.
clearly the worst at the teleprompter. She's clearly the least interested. She's the senior
Yeah.
person there. She's
Poke
getting
with a
paid.
cattle prod for a zinger once in a while, but they're
Right.
going to do the heavy lifting.
Right.
Have a couple of Joy's writers punch up a couple of hot takes on Benifer, and then you
Yeah.
just sit up and make a little pun joke, and you can go back to bed. Why are you the conductor of this band?
Yeah, she was the one originally that when she replaced, Barbara or whoever, she had the juice. She was Whoopi Goldberg,
Right.
Rosie O'Donnell. But now it's like, yeah, let Joy do it. Joy would be better at it.
I showed this to Dr. Drew, and he said he's a little worried about her.
Do tell.
Well, she's having like she was laboring a little with her breathing. Like if you watched it, we'll play the top one more time.
Well,
but
she had
kind of like
issues.
took a gulp of air. Like
Right.
she doesn't seem healthy or right or something. It seems like there's more going on here than her just lack of interest in this particular story. We'll just play the top one more time. You can kind of hear her breathing is not quite right.
17 years after they split up, Jennifer Lopez and Ben Affleck have reunited for a vacation in Montana, and a lot of people are excited that they're back together again. What do you think, Sonny?
Yeah, it is labored. And remember,
it
she
seems
had
like she's having health issues.
she had double pneumonia and sepsis.
yeah.
Ooh,
So
she lived.
She needs a staycation. Like she needs
Yeah.
something.
Nobody
Also,
at home.
as Gary brought up, they're not at home.
Well, they're not.
They're whacking this up like they are at home, but they're back.
Are they in different parts of the same room?
that makes zero sense because the delay is so bad. You think there'd be a reason.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
all
yeah.
in the
No,
same room.
They have to be in different places. You're right about the delay. They're talking over each other, not like crosstalk like we are. Like they're having communication issues.
Well, Gary, this is Gary's conspiracy theory, and he said that he looked it up, and there's an article that said Regis and Kathy Lee, Ryan
Kelly and
Seacrest
Ryan.
and Kelly went back in the View. What does the article say, Max Spanner?
It says that Kelly Reap and Ryan Seacrest, along with the cast of The View, are finally back in their respective studios as they kicked off their new seasons. And this is from September of 2020.
Maybe they're separated. in the
There's
new.
no way they're in the same space together. They could be in like separate cubbies or cubicles or whatever.
with that horrible
Studios.
glamour shots background.
All right. Well, it's a lot of hot View talk, but yeah, I was like, boy, Whoopi is out the damn door.
Yeah.
You know how you say you're secretly jealous of certain people?
Oh,
Should we be secretly?
I'm overtly and insanely jealous. This is I'm not playing it close
is
to
a
the
little more
vest. This
specific,
isn't
though.
like my sexuality where I kind of
Yeah.
play it a
Guarded,
little closer
yeah.
to my paisley
This is
vest.
a little more specific, though. Should we be secretly jealous of the the talent who should be out to pasture, but they keep around almost like a mascot, and it's cruel at a certain point. Like just let this person go. Like I'm thinking of Chris Berman, doing the ESPN. Like he's stumbling, bumbling his way through all the old catchphrases, and he's clearly either not interested or lost a huge step. And like, do we feel a little bit sad, or at the same time it's like this fucking dude's getting paid for limping to the finish line?
Here's my complete theory based on nothing. This is contract negotiation, Whoopi. You know what I mean?
Really?
Wow. I mean, it's a bold strategy, Cotton.
This is first date Whoopi. She's got gravy on her blouse and she belched in the middle of the salad.
There's something going on, like she didn't get what she wanted. Like she's being passive-aggressive towards somebody behind the scenes. That's
she
my
also
theory.
just seems insanely tired and sort of not checked out.
Somebody that had double pneumonia.
I am jealous. Let me see if I can summon this. You guys be the folks of The View.
Okay. So what do you think about Bennifer 2.0?
Yeah, they're
Jen and Ben, or Bennifer as I like to call him. We're seeing Montana making nookie.
Medium sky country.
And what do we do about that ring? Remember that ring? It was larger than life.
Ring,
the big
the
pink
bling ring.
dot,
Oh my God!
I'm just gonna loosen my belt like I ate too much at Thanksgiving and just kind of slide back until the Lions game comes on.
Well, A-Rod's going to fall in a nice soft spot. I mean, that's a good-looking fella right there.
Oh, and you know what? Don't worry about him. There's plenty of ladies. He'll be just
lining up.
Speaking of A-Rod, I'm going to take a nap. All right, so you guys just babble on. And Gina, don't take it personally, but I'm going to rest my... just going to kind of read the back of my eyelids while you wax on about Bennifer.
And anyway, they went to Montana, big sky. It looked really beautiful. I actually went there for my honeymoon, so I can tell you it's a beautiful spot.
Does anyone have any warm milk or Postum or something? I know it's a weird request at 9:45 in the morning, but
yeah, I mean, remember that "Love Don't Cost a Thing" video? They seemed so in love back
Jenny
then.
on the block.
She's Jenny from. Don't be fooled by the rocks that she's got.
one of you said something about A-Rod.
Yeah.
I want to talk about T-Rod, as in chamomile tea. Is somebody make a kettle of that about now?
They call him A-Rod.
Do we got to go to a commercial or something?
I think it's probably for the best. Yeah, a word from our sponsors.
You say she got that ring back? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm gonna throw it to break, not verbally, but when you see my head tilt over, that'll be our heart out.
When you keel.
Yeah. All right. Well, there it was. Yeah, man. Well, also, you got to think about your classmates there. Like when you announce you're going to take a nap after you throw it to Joy. It's a little passive aggressive, right?
Of her comedic skills.
All right. What is worse? If you're Joy Behar and Whoopi throws it to you for your hot take, and then you announce that you're going to get some sleep.
Yeah.
Or the time I was waxing poetic on this show, and Dawson pulled a flask out, held it high so I could see it, and took a hard nip off it in the middle of one of my poignant exposés about Red Ternera.
Right.
Both egregious. However, at least the flask signifies party time, whereas the nap, that's an indictment.
Yeah. All right. We have another clip. We have John McWhorter, I think. Am I saying that right? Max Pato's watching him on Bill Maher. I don't know what his exact credentials are.
He's a linguistics professor and an author.
Now, the thing to listen to is how Bill Maher and his audience are now getting excited and clapping about anti-woke stuff that they used to clap about 9 months ago. They've done something weird. I'll play the clip, and then I got a funny Michelle Obama clip to play as well that will dovetail nicely with this clip.
It's the strangest thing. Like, you read a book like, and yeah, we're going to have to be specific, White Fragility, which basically says that black people are these hothouse flowers where everybody has to tiptoe around us, and, we're always crying and we're always angry, and we're just so very, very, very delicate. I don't feel like that person. That book is talking down to me as far as I'm concerned. It really should be called Black Fragility, right? Yes, it should be used to keep tables from wobbling. That is the only use for that book. And yet,
They're hooting for
you look on Facebook, and you have people saying, I'm doing the work, and reading this book. And I think to myself, they are doing the work of making me into a perfect idiot.
Right.
And yes, why don't more of my fellow black people feel that way? And it's because of a very human thing, which is that it is a very human thing to take on the victim identity. All people do it. We've all known people like that. A way you can do it if you're a black person, and all of us need to grab onto something sometimes, is to read a book like that and think, yes, I need to be treated that way. And I am going to start actively parsing it that way, because I don't think people realize what silly babies books like that make us look like. So something needs to be said.
Wow.
They're clapping. I say that shit. I'm a pariah. He's a fucking toast of the town.
He's a linguist.
Jesus Christ. All right. Well, that's how the Maher crowd. It's funny. You can check Maher with your sort of divining rod or yardstick, but check the audience, because they would have never been clapping at that shit a year ago.
Uncomfortable silence.
Yes.
Is what you would have
yes.
gotten. And that's the thing, like, we had Donnie Deutsch on yesterday, and we're talking about branding, we're talking about you, we brought up Bill Maher, and he said, Bill Maher, liberal, blah, 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 blah. But I know a lot of liberals, they don't like Bill Maher. What is Bill Maher?
Well.
And I guess that's why I like him.
I like Bill Maher because Bill Maher's Bill Maher.
Right.
And he toggles in between, he kind of goes between the aisles and the camps and all that kind of stuff. And I don't think we're looking for 100% agreement. We're looking for authenticity, as discussed yesterday.
We are.
Yeah, we are. I mean, Mark Garagos is that way. We have that kind of relationship where it's like, he's authentic with me, I'm authentic with him, and then we'll agree to disagree about Colin Kaepernick or something. Although if I got him drunk, he'd probably agree with me.
In that clip, they referred to themselves as cranky liberals.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, interesting.
Themselves?
Yes.
Oh, as Bill and John
consider
the
themselves cranky liberals.
Waldorf and Statler.
Yeah. All right. We also have, I got a Rochelle Walensky.
I'm loving this clip
Doom
show.
and gloom. Well, I don't know what it was. I had a lot of time. I got here early, and I just had a lot of time, so I started screaming about clips. But we'll play the Michelle Obama one with Gayle King, which kind of dovetails onto this, which is, I think it is a very dangerous message to constantly bang this drum of how dangerous and racist this place is. Not for Dawson, for young black people. I feel like you're creating this greater chasm. You're hurting them. You're holding them back. And whatever this thing is, whatever this chasm we'd like to close grows wider when, and I'm not even sure why Michelle Obama has picked up this mantle, because she was married to the first black president who did 2 terms and got a majority white votes.
Well,
so where is she getting this?
She was the first black first lady, and people loved and respected her. She wasn't just relegated to the Rose Garden and we don't want to hear from you. She was like up front and beloved.
We were so out of praise for her that we've got to praising her upper arms.
That's true.
We were so done with stuff. Like,
what else?
I'm out of stuff. Look at her arms. She's jacked.
It's true.
I mean, I've never even heard of them talk about a woman's arms, but we've heaped so much praise, and we're so out of praise that we actually got to her appendages a certain point. But this is her having a thoughtful discussion with Gayle King. Remember, she was the one who said, Michelle Obama said she experienced racism because she's invisible, because she went to the froyo place and some white woman cut in front of them in line, as if none of us have ever had the experience of somebody cutting in front of them in line. But all right, here we go.
Many of us still live in fear as we go to the grocery store or worry about walking our dogs or allowing our children to get a license. I mean, just imagine.
Aren't your girls driving?
They're driving. Yeah. But every time they get in a car by themselves, I worry about what assumption is being made by somebody who doesn't know everything about them. The fact that they are good students and polite girls, but maybe they're playing their music a little loud. Maybe somebody sees the back of their head and makes an assumption. I, like so many parents of black kids, have to, that the innocent act of getting a license puts fear in our hearts.
quick question. Wouldn't there be a lot more assumptions to be made when you see a young teenage girl driving around with a Secret Service man?
Yeah, on the roof of the car.
Yeah.
Guy talking to his
Sniper.
guy
Right.
talking into his sleeve
Yeah.
with reflective sunglasses on.
Birds of a nest.
My point being, is this actually happening to Sasha and Malia Obama?
No, but she's speaking sort of universally. But then the question is, who is killing all the young black kids? Is that all white cops? Because statistically, it's not even fucking close. It's young black kids killing young black kids. If that's something she wants to address, then I'm all ears. But that's not really the direction she's going. It's more of our racist society. By the way, the back of the head, those girls are 5'6", and all cars have headrests now. I don't
hard
know.
to see.
Hard to tell someone's
Driverless.
nationality from behind. And it's like she's scared that they're not going to know everything. Who knows everything about motorists that are in front of them on the freeway? How much? 80% knowledge? 70?
Mine has a bumper sticker or a license plate frame. Very little.
Yeah, all I know if they're Armo, because I got this weird flag stuck on there, and then something about some nation I'm supposed to care about.
That's
But
right.
that's about as deep as I get.
And that's the thing. I mean, there's definitely a discussion to be had and a debate to be had about, like, okay, let's say it's young black men killing young black men, and where are they? Okay, say they're in these these urban communities, and let's say we're talking about the projects, and let's really pull the camera back. There is a conversation to be had about, well, how did we get there? And a racial issue that's super relevant, but to ignore it is also kind of disrespectful.
Well, it's certainly...
I mean, there were plenty of neighborhoods that black people weren't allowed to own homes in, and there was plenty of redistricting. And this is real. We could talk about that, or we could just ignore the whole thing.
I don't know if she's talking about the cops specifically. She's too shrewd to ever say the cops.
No,
I think she's just talking
implied.
about society, like it's implied. And then Gayle King has to help, like when you're walking your dog. Like,
Right.
that would just sort of declare it was sort of open season on black people amongst the white community. Michelle, you're not fucking helping this problem at all. You're exacerbating the problem. You're going to get more people killed. And if you really gave a shit, then you would be truthful and you would focus on the overwhelmingly high statistics of the young blacks killing the other young blacks, which is astronomical compared to the minuscule amount of cops who are doing it. But either way,
That hot pink pantsuit was fierce, though.
you couldn't see her arms.
I know.
that's
Those
true.
are only strike.
All right, let's see. We got a Crank Yankers clip to play.
Ooh.
We got blah 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 coming up. Nate Adams at the other shop went back to Montana and did some fly fishing.
With Ben and Jen?
And he caught himself a fish, man. I've been fly fishing a couple times. I mean,
wow.
you catch a trout, it's big enough to put in your pocket, and it's not good eating.
Is that a bass? What is that?
Was it a bass or a trout? He
Something
told
delicious.
me. For some reason, I thought he said trout, but I don't remember. But we're looking at a picture of him with the 15-pounder right there, man.
That'll be
It is
singing
sweet.
over his mantle soon.
Yeah.
Wow.
Big mouth Billy Bass.
Yeah. All right.
If we want to, I'll find it. We can throw this in any time. I got an email, a blackmail email, about how I need to stop masturbating in front of my computer camera, and there's a ransom for it. And if you guys would like to hear that, I can dig that up too.
Yeah, I
surprised
would
you do
like.
that.
I would
Yeah.
like to hear that.
Okay.
Yeah, got to put that ripe sticker on that camera. How much do they want?
Unclear.
Whatever it is, pay it.
Yeah. So the first time I heard about this, a girlfriend texted me. She's like, "I'm freaking out. I don't remember masturbating in front of my camera, but maybe I'm like, it's spam. No, I don't know. I'm freaked out." And now then another
Just
girl
to be
got
safe,
it.
send me the video.
It's trout, by the way. So says Nate.
Delicious
Yes.
trout.
Yeah, rainbow trout from fly fishing.
Chris, sorry, I know I sent it to you. I don't know if you could send it back to me, but it is a word of warning for everyone. This is serious. This is a public service. Do not masturbate in front of your camera, or you will get an email like this. And it is curt. The English is loose, so I don't know that it came from this part of town.
Might have actually come from this part of town.
It's too bad you didn't make this announcement before Tubin got caught slapping the
You're
tube
right.
steak on there. All right, I'll
find
buy
it.
you a second to find that. I was talking to Drew as well about our CDC Director, Rochelle Walensky, talking about summer camp. and what we can look forward to for summer camp this year. And they just came out with the news that you don't have to wear your mask outside.
Breaking today. Been
vaccinated. The summer camp, Chris, I'll put you on the spot, but you can try to pull up the summer camp rules. The summer camp rules, and I'll show you the clip. But the summer camp rules are
prequel to Cider House rules.
The kids can go outside, but they can't share like the same ball or frisbee or something like that.
I thought we were over that.
Well, this is I call it we can't unring the dumbbell, which is you wore a mask outside on a jogging trail and at the beach like a fucking lemon sheep idiot. Fine, you did it. Now, surprise, surprise, they said you don't have to do it, but you continue to do it. And then they come up with the thing where it's like it's not spread through surfaces or touch. Fine, but we're still going to lay out a bunch of regulations for summer camp where you don't get to touch the same object. And you have to mask up when you're outside. Like those are... So they're still just like grandfathered in, like these fucking stupid rules. That's the problem with the rules is they have trouble unringing them. They come out and then they just become a pattern, and then they become the parsley on the side of the plate at the diner. It's just there because it has to be there.
But it's science. We all agree that we learn as we go, right? So now we learn this?
Well, it's not all science because remember March 30th, what's it been, 6 weeks?
Yeah, more or less.
Just give me that doom and gloom. And this is what drives me fucking nuts. And I've been telling you guys, we've entered the era of feelings. I told everyone this was dangerous. I said 5 years ago when I was talking to him, I was arguing with my daughter in the garage when she was leaving the school. And she's like, I feel this way, so I can't be wrong because that's how I feel. And it's like, you sure as fuck can be wrong just because you feel that way. As a matter of fact, feelings are oftentimes inaccurate. But this is the doom and gloom. This is the head of the CDC. She's talking about her feelings here.
When I first started at CDC about 2 months ago, I made a promise to you. I would tell you the truth, even if it was not the news we wanted to hear. Now is one of those times when I have to share the truth, and I have to hope and trust you will listen. I'm going to pause here. I'm going to lose the script, and I'm going to reflect on the recurring feeling I have of impending doom. We have so much to look.
Whose truth is it, bitch? It's your fucking truth. It's not the truth. She said she was never going to stop telling the truth. This is not the truth. This is how she feels. She says, I'm going to share the truth with you. And then she goes, here's how I feel. First off, doom and gloom. Doom and gloom. The head of the CDC is pitching doom and gloom a month and a half ago. All right, well, maybe you should be removed from your job, crazy gypsy lady, because your fucking feelings are off. And we're going off your feelings. Why are you saying this into a fucking camera lens? Shut up about your feelings. Oh, I'm a commercial airline pilot. Let me get on the blower. I have a bad feeling about Tampa. This is a gut thing. You know, when I took this job at Delta many years ago, I said I would tell you the truth. I got a bad feeling about these flaps and aviators.
Jesus.
Yeah, and ailerons. I feel bad. I got a weird aileron. I woke up last night feeling weird about ailerons, so...
Captain, we'd like you to sit this
We're going to be
out.
leaving to Tampa, but I don't have a good vibes about this one.
Ding.
Hey, I'm the captain of your fucking cruise ship. I got a bad feeling about this voyage.
We're going to run aground.
Yeah, Isaac may run out of booze, and we may hit some rocky shoals. So anyway, head of the CDC, tell us more about how you feel. And hasn't everything just gotten better since she's talked about her impending doom and gloom? All right. Well, thank you for opening up your insanity to us, you fucking nut job. Shut up and read the fucking data. How about that? Now, 2 days ago, she's giving us some more insights to her personal inner workings as it pertains to summer camp and her child, which...
This is the same person?
I don't believe it. Yes. Now she's going to tell us about her personal feelings about summer camp.
With regard to camp, I have a 16-year-old. Every year he comes home from camp and he writes the number of days until he returns to camp the next year. This year,
all right,
it
hold
got
on.
to 0.
Oh, first off, she's so full of shit. 16-year-old, you're in the 11th grade. You're trying to get laid.
Yeah.
You're trying to make the volleyball team or the football team. You come home every day and X off the days.
Yeah.
So when you come back
prison.
from camp,
363 more days.
you write a 0 or 1, and then every day. And if this is in fact a true story, your kid needs a psychological evaluation like now. This is a big, big psycho-emotional problem. But anyway, tell us more about your own family, you crazy gypsy lady. So, all right, she's got a 16-year-old, and evidently, and by the way, when you're in school, well, not that he's allowed to go to school, but you mark it through, we got Christmas and we got Easter, and then there's the summer break. You're not sitting there in October crossing off shit.
Yeah. Merry Christmas. When's summer camp?
Like you're a political prisoner in Cuba or something. All right. So anyway, we started from the beginning. She's got a feeling about this one too.
With regard to camp, I have a 16-year-old. Every year he comes home from camp and he writes the number of days until he returns to camp the next year. This year, it got to 0, and I told him he wasn't going. I want our kids back in camp.
Oh, you do? What
We
about
now
your
have
kid, you
38,000
crazy old
new
coot?
infections on average per day. Last May 11th, it was 24,000, and we sent a lot of kids home, and camps were closed. The camp guidance is intended to get our kids to camp and allow them to stay there.
Okay, get your kid vaccinated.
No, we're there now.
They're vaccinating 16-year-olds.
12 to 15.
It's been going on for over a month.
Yeah.
You run the CDC. You know anybody you could get a vaccine from? Why don't you get your kid vaccinated?
Yeah.
Drew, I showed this Drew. She's like, she's not going to get her kid vaccinated. Don't tell us to get our kids fucking vaccinated and then tell us that your 16-year-old is not allowed to go to camp.
I don't like this.
Why wouldn't you say, I got a 16-year-old, I got him vaccinated, now he can go to camp. That's his favorite thing to do. Some weird personal anecdote about I have a child as a mother. I got a 16-year-old. He counts off every day. That's so fucking much bullshit.
How humiliated is her son, by the way?
Yes.
You think that's all I do, Ma?
By the way, if I was 16 and a half and my mom said no, whatever came after, I'd be like, fuck off, witch. I'm going to camp. Like,
crashing it.
No going to camp. This guy's got driver's license.
Yeah.
All right, so no going to camp, but she loves camp and she wants to reopen camp and she has guidelines for us and our kids to follow at camp. Then as a CDC director, send your kid, well, first vaccinate your kid. It's been over a month. I don't know why you want us to get vaccinated, but you're not vaccinating your child or not using him as an example. But you set up stringent guidelines for camp. Good. Now your kid can safely do what he claims to love more than life.
I don't like this.
Look, if you want to know why people aren't listening, these are the messages. Did you find the camp rules or the guidelines? They're quite intense.
Yeah, so the most recent summer camp guidelines before her latest press conference was children as young. Okay, so masks to be worn at all times, even outdoors, and by vaccinated adults, and children as young as 2.
Why are vaccinated adults and kids outdoors? They just said outdoors isn't a transmission. Anyway.
Well, while also recommending kids remain 3 feet apart. The only mask exceptions are for eating and swimming, and 6 feet of distance between staff and campers is recommended during meals. But then they got a lot of criticism, so she just did a press conference saying that now teenagers and adolescents aged 12 and up who are fully vaccinated will be able to take their masks off while outdoors.
Here's how policy isn't supposed to work. You're not supposed to make a proclamation about safety and politics. Now, she got a lot of pushback. Okay, all right, I'm going to revise it.
All right, you guys are obviously upset about this. Let me revise the policy.
Hey, no opening the outer hatch door in a commercial airline flight at altitude.
Come on. You're taking our rights away.
Fuck it. All right, go ahead.
Hey, Nazi.
Do it. Knock yourself
Dictator.
out. All right. So there's a lot of policy, people. We got to listen to her because she's got feelings about doom and gloom, and she's got possibly a special needs son. All right. Let me tell you. Sorry, you got your ransom note? Let me tell you about Taser. Oh, that's what you got to do to one of them.
Right.
Axon, Taser, man. Taser believes safer self-defense is a better self-defense. Taser non-lethal self-protection devices are small enough to carry with you in your purse or your glove compartment, but powerful enough to incapacitate an attacker. Guns and pepper spray have unnecessary risks. Taser products are safer and easier to use. Electrical charge immobilizes attackers for up to 30 seconds, giving you time to escape, and sends emergency services to your GPS location upon firing. Wow, that is technology. 237,000 lives have been saved with the Taser network of devices. Start protecting yourself and your family. Sure, as they defund the police, man. Taser up. It is Taser, Axon by Taser. Right, Dawson?
Taser is available without a permit in most U.S. states for a limited time. Take advantage of Taser's best offer available and save $60 on the Pulse Plus bundle with the Taser Pulse Plus device, cartridges, and holster at Taser.com. Save $60 right now by using the code ADAM right now at Taser.com, spelled Taser.com.
All right. Should we hear about your...
This is a lesson and a warning to all of you, because if it can happen to me, it can happen to you. The subject is just my name, Gina Grad. And it says, your wank-off has been shot via my application.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go into details the way this happened. I have some advice. Watch out for unsavory website and anti-malware get to be permanently updated. But these activities not always can protect your device, what you are. Now, attentively and completely look through this letter, lest the result may be irrevocable. Don't attempt to report to law enforcement. They won't manage to fix the situation. I am foreigner. If you flout
You don't say.
If you, letter U, flout the claims, within 96 hours, I'll send your lousy vid to your mates and loved ones, thereby destroying your prestige in the sight of others forever.
Your mates.
Within 48 hours from the time of opening this warning, you pay me for keeping quiet, and I will eliminate all compromising data where you love yourself. It's senselessly to write and beseech me. The mail is hacked, and soon there will be no access to it. I'm not the person to criticize your passion, even though it's a sin in any religion. All I care is payoff for my work.
Little does he know you're Wiccan.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it's
encouraged.
considered a plus.
That's
Well,
right.
good cop, bad cop there. Yeah, I'm not one to judge, but it is a sin.
Do they want money, or they want you to go to them and ask them how much?
Chris, investigate.
There's something to click on, which I have not. So I imagine the Bitcoin instructions are in here, but I shan't be clicking on it.
Wow.
Forward it to Chris.
Yeah, that'd be
I want
great.
to follow this rabbit hole.
What hole?
Because the first time I heard about this, my friend was beside herself. And I was like, I don't think it's real. And then another one got one. And then I got my number came up. So it could happen to any of you. Put that Band-Aid over your camera, people.
Well, I would say, and take this in the spirit in which it's intended,
Okay.
if he, in fact, has seen a video of you flicking your bean,
Yeah,
he has probably rubbed one out to you.
that's true.
That's a good point.
And
Oh,
I know some
tit for
guys who know
tat.
computers.
Yeah.
We hack into his thing.
Yes.
And we now
Reverse
have...
engine-
Yeah. Turnabout's fair play.
I love it.
I think the universe is going to fold in on itself.
That's right. Everyone's going to be sharing videos of everyone beating off. All right. We got blah, blah, blog and much more coming right after this.
And now, Alcoa presents Definitely Not a Jew on the Adam Carolla Show. Dateline, Center Township, Pennsylvania. A 28-year-old man was arrested while naked after fighting with security guards at the Starlight Drive-In Movie Theater. Definitely not a Jew.
Naveen Jain, who's an entrepreneur and is an engineer and has actually been involved with putting a space capsule on the moon to like mine for ore and stuff like
nothing.
that, and does all this testing. And he's a real interesting guy. But he's also from India, so we might want to ask him as a scientist. So we might as well ask him about what's going on with India. Maybe he'll have some insights. until then, we got some blah, blah, blog.
It's time for Blah Blah Blog, the game where we match the celebrity with their retarded online rant. Let's play. The pandemic has threatened to stall much of the progress women have made over the past decades. In fact, many women have left their jobs this past year. This isn't just a recession, it's a she-session.
That's good.
We need to turn things around. Is it AOC, Justin Trudeau, or Michelle Obama?
That is, yeah.
Trudeau's got a lot of Massengale coursing through his veins, so this could be him. I don't know. And what's he doing on there? And then there is AOC. It doesn't, well, AOC stuff's a little angrier and a little less turn of phrase. Could be Michelle. What do you guys think?
You got to pick whoever is the lamest, because that is the lamest fucking thing I've ever heard. A she session.
Mm-hmm.
Who would be the biggest dolt to think that they were clever coming up with that phrase?
I think the she session is what that Russian hacker may have captured on
No,
your
that's
computer
right.
camera right there.
That's a
Little
good
she
point.
time.
That's right.
P.S. Foreigner.
Mhm. All right, I'm going Justin.
Oh, really interesting. I'm going to do the obvious answer and say AOC.
Ooh, those are the ones I was debating. I do not think this is a Michelle move.
Unless it's her people, but even then.
A she session. It's so bad. I'll say AOC.
The blog belongs to Justin Trudeau.
Yeah,
come
I can
on.
smell a puss coming 10 miles away. He's such a pussy. Woo!
Now, these are two
He gives
separate tweets.
Garcetti a run
Yeah.
in for his puss money.
Yeah, pussification.
Mm-hmm. All right.
These are two separate tweets separated by 6 years. 2015, when the Vanity Fair cover came out. Welcome to the party, Caitlyn Jenner. You're stunning inside and out.
Uh-oh.
To 2021, the day the trans athlete story breaks. Caitlyn Jenner is no friend of the LGBTQ community. Don't call her an activist. She's a menace.
Oh.
Wow.
Is it George Takei,
Oh.
Billy Eichner, or Evan Rachel Wood?
Ooh. Okay,
Oh,
I
this is tough.
got feelings on this.
Welcome to the party.
First off, why do we give a fuck what George Takei says? He's such a fucking zero. He was in Star Trek in the 60s. All right. Ooh. Such a fucking idiot.
He's beloved on the internet.
He's
by the way.
loved by fucking retarded nerds.
Twitter.
Jesus
Loves him.
Christ. Just shut up, George. All right. But may not have in fact been you. Billy Eichner. Who's he?
He's Billy on the street. I love him.
He's Billy on the
runs
street.
the game show. He runs around New York and yells at people.
All right. And then
Evan Rachel Wood she's been in a lot of stuff, but Westworld. She's been acting, since she was a teenager. But she's the one who was the first
Marilyn
one to
Manson.
accuse Marilyn Manson publicly.
Wow. George is giving this stupid live long and prosper sign. Ugh.
That's Spock did that.
Spock did it. I know, but George is doing it.
No,
Right?
I'm
It's
saying-
not even your
Sure,
sign.
yeah, exactly. My point exactly.
Yeah.
This is not Sulu's thing.
Yeah, this is a Crip throwing up a blood sign.
Oh, boy.
Precisely.
Precisely. All right, I'm going to Evan Rachel Wood.
I'm going to Kay.
I, too, am going to Kay. I think and first of all, who else? You'd have to be gay to speak for that
yeah.
community.
To the
And Billy
party.
Eichner's, he's just funny.
Was he a thing in 2015?
Who?
Billy Eichner.
I don't think we know him like we do now.
Yeah, I kind of regret my decision.
To Kay.
So you're locked in.
All right, I'll stay with it.
The blog belongs to George Takei.
Finally. Good.
Man. Ugh, what a fucking zero. I had to do Celebrity Apprentice for that douche. So all I could hear is him talking. Did you know Japanese internment camps, the Japanese American internment? Okay, it's been, 71 years?
Anyway, how many muffins have you sold for this contest?
Yes, pick a fucking other subject. All right, go ahead.
Black men, I love you. And you deserve to
George
grow
Takei.
old.
All right.
Is it Alyssa Milano?
Well, that's the whole thing.
That's the whole thing. Ayanna Presley.
Who's that?
She's at Congress.
Mm-hmm.
Or Pink.
Mm.
I think Pink does love black men.
Mm.
She's with like a white
I
motocross
know.
guy.
That doesn't mean anything.
He's the whitest guy ever. He does motocross. His name is Corey.
Carrie.
Carrie. Sorry, Carrie.
I don't know why I know that.
And he does, X Game shit.
Oh.
All right. Sorry.
Ooh.
You want Dawson to repeat it, Max Spanna?
Yeah, it was short.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Get this clean, Bri.
It's very clean.
Black men, I love you, and you deserve to grow old. Alyssa Milano, Ayanna Presley, or Pink.
I feel I know this. I got a hunch.
Anna Presley is sort of, she's in the squad, I think, but she is, the Rat Pack had Sinatra and Sammy Davis.
They also had Joey Bishop and Peter Lawford.
She's the Joey Bishop of the squad. Like she's
Peter Lawford.
Yeah, like she's allowed to go to the parties,
Right.
but she's not doesn't make the
Not
cover.
officially, yeah.
Yeah. A little too on the nose for her. Could be Alyssa. I don't know why. I don't know why she's on there, so I'm just going to go Pink.
I'll go Alyssa Milano. This is just so desperate and thirsty.
I think that even referring to black men, if you're not black, would be considered appropriation. I'm going Ayanna Presley.
The blog belongs to Ayanna Presley.
Oh, man. Use the same logic used with George, and it's paid off twice, man.
That's right.
If you follow your heart, if you listen to your gut, and if you extend your hand to help another, not for any agenda, but for the sake of humanity, you're going to find the truth. Is it Aaron Brockovich,
What the fuck is that?
I don't know what she's.
Gal Gadot, or Madonna?
You say it again. It was like just word salad.
Follow your gut and you'll find the truth.
Right.
Yeah, like Michelle Walensky.
Yeah.
She's the head of the CDC, but she's following her truth.
Right.
If you follow your heart, if you listen to your gut, and if you extend your hand to help another, not for any agenda, but for the sake of humanity, you're going to find the truth.
Okay.
What's Gina doing up there with those two busted bitches?
Oh, God bless. Yeah.
Now, I like Aaron. This doesn't feel precise enough for her. But you never know because people are trying to score points these days, and they just put out some pablum that maybe gets people to
I wonder if
like
she has.
them.
Does she have any book coming out?
I
Why
don't
would
know.
she be- And we got Wonder Woman, who I'm sure that's Wonder Woman's credo.
Yeah,
Oh,
Gal.
the truth.
Yeah, the lasso of
Gal
truth.
seems nice, but she doesn't really say anything. Doesn't feel angry enough for Madonna. I'm going Gal.
I'll go Aaron Brockovich.
I think I agree. I think this is Aaron Brockovich because her whole thing is about following the truth.
Yeah, finding the uncovering the truth.
Yeah.
So what happened to the lasso theory you're floating to?
A red herring.
Fucking bit hard on that lasso.
The blog belongs to
Snatched up like a trout with Nate Adams.
Oh no.
Aaron Brockovich.
Oh my
When did I
God,
become Brian?
man!
Well played.
Thank
The
you.
difference is I know.
Oh my God.
The battle lines for the soul of our nation have been drawn. The choice is for America. The choice for America is simple. White supremacy or democracy?
That's it?
Is it Rob Reiner,
Seems like an easy choice.
Jason Alexander, or Lena Dunham?
Oh boy.
Now, Rob is a funny and affable guy who does say just sort of patently crazy shit like this all the time. Jason, I know a little bit, but I'm not sure what he says. Lena Dunham. My Lena Dunham prediction was always not as funny as we thought she was. A lot of success early. Feel like we're not going to be hearing as much from her as the years wear on. At a certain point, you got to have some funny in the tank, and you can kind of. I like the guy, but when Pauly Shore was on fire, and it was like the nation was had Pauly Shore fever. I remember saying to people, he's not really that funny.
Oh.
Like it's not going to keep going.
But you caught them coming out of son-in-law, so they weren't hearing you.
That's right.
What do you keep to a maximum, bro?
That's right. It doesn't mean you can't make a living.
Right.
It just don't expect to be where you were
A long hauler.
for a long hauler. So maybe Lena, but Rob can say this shit. I'm going Rob Reiner.
Yeah, this feels very Rob Reiner. I've never known Jason Alexander to be especially outspoken, so I'm going to say Rob Reiner is the leader for me.
Yeah, same. You don't hear a lot from Jason Alexander about this. And Lena Dunham only talks about one thing, Lena Dunham. So if it's not about her feelings or her body, then it's probably not going to make it onto social. I, too, have to go with Rob.
Well, since all three of you picked the same one, it does not change the scores. Our winner is who was in the lead last.
Oh, come on.
The blog belongs to Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
Gina Grad with 4, Brian 3, Adam 2.
Thank you.
Is there? You know what's interesting is, well, it's sort of. I base it loosely on my parents. It's my mom exalting the virtues of granola because this one has been sweetened with brown sugar and molasses, and my dad screaming about 3 or 4 years ago that Trump was rounding up kids and putting them in cages at the border. And I think to myself, wow, this shit goes all the way to the end. Like you can just keep. I mean, Rob Reiner is probably a lot more militant now than he was in his 50s. I don't know. What is Rob Reiner now? Is he getting in? He's got a 77, 78. Yeah. He is kind of turning into meathead.
74.
Super nice guy and like super talented and funny.
Yeah.
I just wonder how this like kind of takes over your life.
And do you just get more like, fuck it, I don't care what people think?
I think
made my money, I'm 74.
There's a verbal, I think.
Like De Niro.
It's like, remember you'd go, or not remember, but maybe it was yesterday. Like you go to the supermarket, you just see like the old dude in the sweatpants with the slippers, and it's like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I've been married for 41 years.
Who am I trying to impress?
Yeah, who am I trying to impress? Like back in my day, I would have put a little pomade in the hair and shade, but now fuck it. I don't care. It's right up there with old guys grabbing titties and ass. Like, what are you going to do, lock me up?
George Bush?
Yeah, like just fucking, they just go for it.
Yeah.
Like, fuck it. All right, so we got, we got some stuff on there. Do we have an outro?
Yeah,
by the way?
it is.
That's fine.
Until next time, keep your fingers on your keyboards and your heads up your asses so we can play another round of Blah, Blah, Blah.
Yes, Gina.
Quick question. And this is not even necessarily an indictment on George Bush Jr., but it just made me think, now that we know all of the things we know about Ellen and like the lid has been blown wide off of that whole thing, isn't the shock a lot less that she's friends with George Bush? Like people thought like, that's not who she is. She says be kind to one another. She's super liberal. She loves animals. She's dancing. How could she be friends with this, Republican political leader? But now it's like, oh yeah, she's super three-dimensional. She has all kinds of sides. Like, of course she's friends with whoever she wants to be friends with.
Yeah.
Like, is that as shocking now looking back?
No. What was she in? She was in a Texas Stadium sitting in the
at a
luxury
game.
booth
Yeah.
with him. It doesn't, by the way, not everything is an endorsement of everyone's politics. Sometimes you can just watch a game and have a beer and be completely in different sides politically, but you could be friends with the person.
It just doesn't seem as pearl clutching now that we know she's just kind of more she's not this character she has built herself to be.
Yeah, well, like I said, one of the times I did her show, I noticed that her staff was scared to death, and that was always that's the indicator when you walk in. So every show, every work environment sort of takes on a personality. And I've known places where, like, it's a place in downtown LA used to buy glass. Everyone there was an asshole because it's just they took on the personality. The guy who ran the place was an asshole, and that's you see hot dog stands like take on
Soup Nazi
personalities. They just corporations do sometimes too. Sure. Airlines, there's like a different approach to things. So when you're in the environment, you're just sort of. You're in the same bathroom that somebody's been shitting up for 15 years, and you don't even smell it. You have to walk.
Blind.
You have to walk into the bathroom to really get it. But as I've said, when you'd walk into Letterman, there was a vibe. When you'd walk into Kimmel, there was a vibe. When you walk into Leno, there was a vibe. There was just you'd walk in, and that would be the vibe.
Right.
You would experience the vibe, especially if you're kind of like me, which is I'm always kind of trying to figure out what's going on, or I'm always trying to absorb what the environment is. And some are uniquely good and fun and friendly, and then others are scared. And Ellen's vibe was scared. Everyone there was scared. And I knew it as soon as I got into my green room, and my segment producer kept asking me if I was going to talk about meat, and he was like wringing his hands. Wanted to know if I was going to talk about meat, because evidently
was Morrissey
Ellen,
hosting?
Yeah, Ellen doesn't like meat. That was, and I was like, all right, everyone here's scared. And then I went, well, they're scared for a reason.
I'm sure we've talked about this before. Was that the same vibe at Rosie?
God, did I do? I don't think I did. Oh, well, Rosie is Mount Rushmore of Cutie Patootie Chub Club, and I'm going to wear a lot of pastels, and I have a crush. I have a crush on
Tom
Cruise, and David Cassidy, and like guys like I have my little crushes and stuff. Fucking monster backstage. Believe me, I know guys at high levels over there. Fired someone every day. Like, eventually he got fired, but just the worst. I mean, would literally come off that stage with all the bubbles and the bounce and the fun and the, oh boy, not again. Go backstage and just fucking fire everyone. This poor guy just had to fire like 35 people. And like, it was a total fucking shit show. Ellen is nothing compared to what Rosie is. Now, Rosie is now owning it.
Right.
This version of Rosie, Rosie didn't have a brain tumor or have traumatic head trauma and then end up into this Rosie. She was that Rosie wearing a pastel cardigan and talking about having a crush on Tom Cruise.
And this is the extreme version of me.
and by the way, probably more pent up because you're not blowing off gas. You know what I mean? You're fucking going out there, giggling and laughing and having the time of your life. I mean, if you could find Max Zapata, the opening of one of her shows from 1997 or 6 or something, it would be we'd be gobsmacked by this,
really
right?
like the Twilight Zone.
We'd all get the bends. And so I had a friend, it was real high level there, and he said, the worst. She was the worst. Fired everyone all the time. Wow. Just fired people. Just one screamed at people and fired them, whatever. But I don't mind this version of Rosie because she's her authentic self.
It's adjacent to your Lance Bass theory. Like now it's like there's no more mystery around it. We know, she's kind of a hard ass or she's whatever, and it's like we accept it, we move on. But the contrast is, like you say, out of the hot tub and in the snowbank.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there anything online for the opening of her original show? What was that? 95, 96?
Late 90s, yeah.
Yeah, like the later 90s. I'm watching from 98. I'm just making sure it'll play.
All right, let me hit JB Weld here. JB Weld, world's strongest bond. Pros have trusted it for over 50 years. But why hire a pro when you can JB Weld it? JB Weld makes it easy to do yourself. We're proud to have JB Weld Adhesives as a sponsor. I personally know the owner. Hung out with these guys down at the car show there. And I have all their products. What can I say? DIY projects, good. Auto stuff, crafts, plumbing, marine, all the applications. I use the product to fix Sonny's tennis shoe, save myself some money. Stromer used it to fix his tray on his wet saw because he's doing some tile work. Different product, but all made by JB Weld. JB Weld just acquired Herculiner, the original DIY truck bed liner. So if you're looking for the world's strongest truck bed liner, Herculiner has you covered. It's JB Weld, right, Dawson?
JB Weld is available at jbweld.com, Home Depot, Lowe's, Walmart, AutoZone, Advance Auto Parts, Napa, O'Reilly, Amazon, Michaels, and more. And remember, JB Weld epoxy products are proudly made in the USA. JB Weld, world's strongest bond.
All right, let's watch a minute of Rosie's show and see if we can recognize her.
They're going ape shit. Oh, she's in LA.
Doing some dancing. God, audience warm up, man. That was a thing.
How are you? Matthew?
Hi, Rosie.
Lovely to see you again.
Thank you.
Matthew, you were here about a week ago, weren't you?
Yes, I was.
You were up in the last row about.
Yeah.
You were crying.
Yeah.
You had a big, fat Rosie O'Donnell scrapbook
Yes.
filled with every clipping I've ever seen of myself in the world.
Just like Barbra Streisand. How you
That's
think of Barbra
right.
Streisand?
Now, you told me.
Guy
Tell
was
them the story
claimed by
about
AIDS
when you
in
saw the
01.
Barbra Streisand show and what I said.
You said you would only date people that remember the first line to Sadie, Sadie, Mary Lady.
And so what'd you do, Matthew?
I memorized it, Rosie.
You memorized the song!
Rosie, I brought you some baked goods.
You brought me some baked goods?
Yeah.
Matthew, that's even more important
I
than
got a
Barbra
carb load.
Streisand lyrics.
I cooked them last night.
You cooked them yourself?
Yeah.
Are you kidding, Matthew?
No.
A man who could cook. Take a look at that. Get a close-up of those, would you?
Don't let him get away, Rosie.
Yeah, hang on in with both hands. By the way, he
I'm
said,
trying to win you over 'cause
I got
know
your
Tom
baked
Cruise is
goods,
gonna
and
be
they
here
said I
tomorrow.
cooked them last
Yeah, I
night. Like,
cooked
come
them.
on,
That's why I'm
it's
dressed
right in the
up.
setup.
You look great.
Thank you, Matthew. You
Thank
did a
you.
great job. Say hello to John McDee, the McDee
Hey,
Happy
kind and the Mirth Makers.
Blue
Hey,
blazer.
I want to see more of that band. Come on, Max Zapata.
He looked like a Muppet.
All right, there we go.
Look how happy they are.
Everyone's so happy.
Securing their jobs.
Dr. Tooth.
Crosstalk.
Johnny.
And you look lovely.
Thank you so much.
P.S., yeah.
P.S., you know, just stuff.
I know.
In case I feel like
Yeah.
singing or dancing a little later. I
That
don't
could
know.
happen.
You never know on this show.
It's true.
Do you know who's here today?
It's not the same person, is it?
I adore her.
I know.
Patti LaBelle is
As
here.
do I.
Patti LaBelle.
All right, we get it. But now she's living her truth.
They sound like the audience sounds like they've been drugged or like given methamphetamine or.
Yeah, I used to do all those shows, and they would just jack the hell out of that audience. I mean, in between, the guy'd come running out and be
Yeah.
like, "You guys weren't loud enough now. Let's try it again. You can do it better," you know?
Yeah,
And then,
sometimes they throw candy.
then they kind of do that "We Got the Spirit, Yes, we do" move. Like,
Yeah.
this side says these bleachers are louder than you guys. I know you can do better than that. And then he'd throw out some more candy.
I'll never forget. I've been to many show tapings because little Gina in Kansas used to come visit Dad, and that was like a very glamorous thing to do. And you know, they're usually wholesome warm-up guys. I will never forget the extreme embarrassment I felt sitting next to my dad when it was maybe for the nanny or something. No, they had a band. One Herman's Head Friends. I don't know. I went to all of them.
Parker Lewis can't lose.
And the warm up, I think maybe it was his last day. I don't know. For a family show, he said to the audience, "What did Cinderella say when she got to the ball?"
Oh, but she had reached the ball.
Oh, wow.
like that.
The ball.
I was really-
like, audience warm-up guy?
That was
yeah. Oh, that's
I was
their-
sitting next to my
that's his
dad.
Last, that's
She
his
was
last
blowing
day.
Lance Armstrong.
That's funny.
The ball.
Yeah.
The The best. I would, all right, I went the coffee table book called Dade County Black Prom 1976 and 1984.
Mm-hmm.
I would watch an endless loop of audience warm-up guys because I've been on stage from the second they throw to break, the audience warm-up guy runs it. But the audience warm-up guy never really exactly knows when it's time to start again. And so those guys are up there.
He's vamping.
They're up there and they're going, oh, okay, true story. When I was a kid, we went to snow, right? And so I get to the top of the highest mountain there, right? I get on my sled, right? I got my mittens on. I got my hat on. I go down that slide. I'm going, sorry. Okay, here we go. They go running off stage. They go running off. They get in the middle of everything, and some producer would just go, okay, here, we're going to start now. So anyway, I lost my mother to cancer. Up. Okay, here we go. Now, a lot of energy. They run. They never go, hold up, Alan.
I'm right in the
Just
middle
bringing
of the
this one home.
climax.
It's called a punchline. No. They never know. They launch into a story, and some guy runs out and gives them the thing, and they just drop everything and go running off the stage. All right. Naveen Jain is up. We'll talk to him right after this.
Do you want to be a part of Adam's next book?
Shit, yeah!
Submit your questions for Ask an Asshole by emailing them to askhole@adamcarolla.com. Ask about any topic you need the Ace Man's advice or answers on. That's ASKHOLE@adamcarolla.com.
Well, entrepreneur extraordinaire and engineer and beyond. Naveen Jain is on. Viome is his company. They do a take-home test you send back, and you can figure out your wellness and your gut health. And there's also stuff coming up with immune systems and all that kind of stuff. Good to see you, Naveen.
Well, Adam, it's been a long time, so I'm so glad we finally reconnected here, and I hope you're doing well and your family's doing well.
We are, and thank you. So I guess first things first, you're from India. What's going on in India? Do you any updates?
Oh, brother, it is pretty sad out there. I mean, it is hard to see that while we are coming out of this pandemic as if it never happened, there it is like it's just the beginning of this rough time. People are dying by the roadside. What I'm being told is they can't even buy wood to bury people. So it is pretty sad out there, brother. Pretty sad out there.
And
thankfully, I don't have any immediate family there. Not that it means anything, but I'm trying to say at least, thankfully all of our family is safe. But I still feel bad for a lot of people out there.
Well, and ironically, and I should probably confirm this, but what I understand is a lot of the vaccine, or at least active ingredients in the vaccine, are made in India. So it's even sadder and more frustrating.
It is, but there, the key components, they still are missing there. So they still have to go from US to there, which is basically the key to making everything work.
I see.
And that's really where it gets held up. And then this whole idea of patents, who owns the idea, who owns the patent, they can't make it. So, all the nightmare. This should be, honestly, now I'm going to put myself up on we got to make this damn thing available to everyone. I mean, we can't really be about rich and poor. This, it doesn't matter. Virus doesn't care you're Christian. Virus doesn't care you're rich. Virus doesn't care you're poor. Virus doesn't care you're Indian. It doesn't care you're American. If it mutates in India, it becomes our problem. It may not be our problem today. It'll become our problem tomorrow. So let's just contain it where it is. And otherwise, next thing we know, we are all going to be running.
Naveen, can you just kind of tell us your personal story, your journey when you came to the United States, or we'll start at the beginning. Just set the table for us.
Yeah, but I hate talking about myself. I could tell you about all my ideas. I can tell you about all the things I'm working on. I can tell you all about how we're going to change the humanity. Just talking about myself makes me really, really nervous. So here you go. So grew up in India. We were, how would I say it? We were pretty poor. We didn't have food to eat. We didn't have a place we called home. I came to the United States, got 37 years ago with $5 in my pocket and barely spoke the language. And most people will tell you I barely speak the language now, so there's not much has changed, right? But God has been really, really kind to us. I mean, I would have never imagined the life that I am living or our children are living. But what gives me the real pride is not what I have done, but our 3 children who are just going out and doing things that are making the world better. So when they were young, we redefined what success meant. We say your success will never be measured by how much money you have in the bank. It'll be measured by how many lives you improved. Right? The only way you truly know when you're successful, the day you become humble is the day you become successful. Because if you have iota of arrogance left in you, that means you're still trying to prove something to yourself or someone else. That's not a true success, right? And your self-worth doesn't come from what you own. Your self-worth comes from what you create. So if you haven't created anything, you haven't given back anything, you're still a parasite on humanity. So I always used to tell our kids, don't be a fucking parasite.
Well said.
Poor kid was like, I just wanted some froyo, Pops. Thanks for the fucking sermon. Jesus Christ, it's Sunday. Am I allowed to take a walk?
What are you talking about?
But Adam, now let me tell you how proud the dad is. So now having done all that, my oldest, just Google him, Uncle. He's on to his 3rd unicorn, working on things to help improve the lives of middle class. Wharton graduate. Our daughter kicks his ass every single day. That girl, Stanford grad, Stanford STEM fellow, Stanford Mayfield fellow, first company removing gender bias in hiring, started a second company on women's health. She said, no one is worried about women's health. I'm going to start with the women's health, and everything's going to be all about women's health. Youngest one is Stanford grad, Schwarzman scholar, starting his company, right? Now, that to me is a great parenting. I don't really care what I do, but that to me, what makes me proud.
Yeah, time for you to sit back and relax.
Yeah. I don't think my kids
one thing I'm doing right now.
So
going to the moon, changing healthcare. That's just almost retirement.
Well, let's talk about. So you developed a robot lunar lander to explore and mine the moon's resources. What is on the moon that we could use here on Earth?
Well, there are a couple of things here, Adam. So one thing is, why go to the moon, right? So first thing is, if you look at all of us, 7.4 billion of us, we actually are living on a single spacecraft, and we call that planet Earth. And if our spacecraft gets damaged, it's not that our planet won't survive. Our planet will be just fine. The humanity may not survive. Go back to 65 million years ago, when the asteroid hit the planet Earth, planet did just fine. In fact, the dinosaurs all died. The planet did so fine, it created humans, right? Now imagine if same thing happens, the humanity may die and it may create superhumans. So if you care about the humanity, forget about, I care about the planet. I say that is too egotistic for you to say, I care about the planet. Planet doesn't need you to care about it. You just need to care about your fellow humans, right? And if we can back them up on moon, and that's a first stepping stone. That's not a final destination, because moon is just 3 days away. So if you want to learn to live away from our spacecraft, you have to learn to live on the moon so you can go to the Mars. And as I always tell people, it's better to be goddamn lunatic 3 days away than to be a Martian 6 months away, right? So learn to live, learn to paddle on the moon, go to the Mars, then go beyond our solar system, because our sun may implode one day. You want to go beyond our galaxy into the somewhere in the other galaxy. You want to go beyond our universe into the multiverse. So it's all imagination of what we can do. There is a whole abundance of the things we could all achieve there.
Hey, note to self, no edibles in front of Naveen. A fucking head will explode. So, but you did... What was your role in sending the lunar lander to the moon?
So we actually are the only company that has permission to actually leave Earth orbit, and as a private company to actually leave the Earth orbit, period. That President Obama signed into the law that also says that anything we bring back, we get to own it. So there is literally the right to ownership of the stuff that you bring in. We also have $2.6 billion contract from NASA to actually work with them to be able to go to the moon. So all that, I'm the co-founder of that company. And then 5 years ago, I started the healthcare company. And this is really where, for the next decade, this is where I'm dedicating my life to, right? So anytime you do something, at least to me, Adam, I'm going to give you a rule of thumb. When you start a company and you want to make it really, really big, I give you the formula. So don't ever tell me that I haven't done anything for you. All right, so here you go. When you start a company, ask yourself 3 questions. Why this? Why now? Why me? Why this is really simple. God forbid you're actually successful in solving the problem that you're about to be doing. Would it help 1 billion people live a better life? And not because you're philanthropic. If you can improve anything for 1 billion people, you can create a $100 billion company. So that's a true capitalism, right? You want to create a massive company, focus on improving people's life, the company automatically get created. Why now is really simple. What had changed in the last 1 year, but more importantly, what we expect to change in the next 3 to 5 years to be where the puck is going to be, not where the puck is. So look at what technologies are going to be used in the next 3 to 5 years and build on that. And Adam, I got to admire something. Now I'm going to say something complimentary, which I hate to say that, right? You were ahead of the curve. I mean, look, on the podcast side, you and I chatted 3 years ago. You and I would have never thought you're going to go become a rock star. I mean, you looked like a rock star, but becoming a rock star, that was like way beyond my imagination of a moonshot. So I've done moonshot. That was not something I ever thought would ever happen. Not in my lifetime, at least.
Thanks,
so here
Naveen.
you are.
Well, all right. So let's talk about health and the gut and what the gut means for health and what we've been discovering about that and what you've been discovering about that. And then how does that in the immune system and then then COVID-19, how it dovetails into that.
So great question, Adam. So first of all, if you look at the human body, even though we are so proud of who we are, we think our genes we get from a mom and dad makes us who we are. Without realizing 99% of all the genes that are expressed in our body are not our own. These are foreign microbial stuff, 39 trillion in our gut, in our mouth, on our skin, in our nose, in our, pick a thing you want. There are microbes everywhere, right? So now these microbes are not parasites. They in fact work with our body. We as a host are constantly interacting with them. We in fact have outsourced the functions to them. So for example, when we eat vegetables or fiber, it can't be digested by the human body. So these microbes digest the fiber for us. In turn, they poop out. That's called micro poop, right? In technical word is metabolites, right? The micro poop is what we survive on. So when they poop out the stuff, we absorb that, which is short chain fatty acid. That makes us happy. They make vitamins for us. They make the good stuff for us. When we don't feed them right, they release the toxins. They release the stuff that we don't like. So they are basically telling you what they want. And as long as we feed them right, they take care of us. We don't feed them right. They say, you know what? Bye-bye, Adam. We got a new host coming up, right? So they literally, what we are discovering is all of the diseases are actually begin in the gut. So this is 2,500 years ago. Remember what Hippocrates said? All diseases begin in the gut.
Yeah,
let food be thy medicine, let thy medicine be the food. There you have it.
So we need to find out, are all our guts different?
Yes. So answer is not only our guts are different, even if you are identical twins with the same DNA, one may develop a disease, one doesn't. One may actually, it's because their microbiomes are completely different. In fact, if you feed them exactly the same food, one person may get fat, other doesn't, because the glucose response depends on your gut microbiome. So this is what we learned. So Adam, you were asking me, what do we do? So we look at your gut microbiome, and then we look at the host side. So with a finger prick, we get a couple of drops of your blood that allows us to look at all the genes that are expressed in our body. So all the inflammatory markers like cytokines. We look at all the mitochondrial gene expression. We look at your immune health, your cellular health, your mitochondrial health. And then we look at all of your gut stuff. That means what these microbes are producing. And based on that, we can tell you, should you eat this food or you shouldn't, and why? So for example, it tells me, hey, Naveen, don't eat broccoli and cabbage and Brussels sprout. Not that I love them to begin with, but it tells me because your gut is not producing too much sulfide. And if you eat broccoli, it has a lot of sulfate, is going to cause more inflammation in your gut. Don't eat spinach. because your gut is not digesting the oxalic acid. Despite the Popeye telling you spinach is good for everyone, Popeye was not the scientist. So spinach is not good for you. And here's the key now. Then we say, okay, here are the food you should eat and why. And then we say, here is what your body is lacking that you are not making. So you need 22 milligrams of elderberry. You need 7 milligrams of curcumin. You need 18 milligrams of amylase. And then we literally make those capsules with those ingredients, with that dosage, robotically on demand for you after you've taken the test.
Oh,
so
my
literally
God.
making all the nutrients that your body needs on demand for you.
So,
and you got
yeah.
you should what?
All right, so let's just unpack this. You get the test, and you figure out what your unique biology needs and what it should avoid. And it's not all just what your mom said, like have cod liver oil and eat your leafy greens, because we were talking about this just on a simpler notion. I brought it up the other day. I said cheese. Mm-hmm. I'm fine with cheese. I feel good with cheese. I enjoy cheese. I don't feel like phlegmy or inflamed or inflammation or stomach or bowel problems or anything. I'm fine with cheese. Gina is not. It's a very it's a simplistic and less scientific version of what you're saying. But is that kind of a simplistic example of like, Gina, don't eat the cheese. I can eat the cheese, but what you're kind of saying is what if Gina ate as much cheese as I ate because she didn't have the overt reactions? She didn't have constipation or she didn't feel like, sluggish or whatever, but she was still doing something her body didn't want.
And that is the key, Adam. By the time you feel the symptom, it's already too late.
Right.
That means the damage has been done, because that's why the body is feeling the symptom. So what we do is we look before you actually feel the symptom. So everyone says, take the peanuts and avocado or rice or whole wheat. And by the way, vitamin B3 is good for everyone. Guess what? It's really, really bad for you if you have very high uric acid production, because the vitamin B3, the niacin, actually turns the uric acid into the arthritis, kidney stones, and hypertension, right? People say turmeric and curcumin is good for you. Mm-hmm. But guess what? It's good for some people, but not for the people whose bile acid production is high, because the curcumin can convert the bile acid into the bile salt that causes problems. And a lot of people who are into longevity, they say, take the, NAD. But guess what? NAD is bad for people who have high inflammation or high cellular senescence. And this is general wisdom. People say, hey, don't eat meat. Meat is bad for you. Guess what? Meat is only bad for some people. And a lot of people you and I know in Midwest, they eat meat and potatoes, live to be 100. Why is that? Because the carnitin in the meat gets converted by our microbes into something called TMA, trimethylamine. If you're not converting that, you're good, because TMA gets absorbed by the body and your liver converts them into TMAO, trimethylamine oxide. And that's the one that causes the heart disease. So if your microbes are not producing TMA, eat all the red meat. It's got a lot of good nutrients in there.
Just to sort of double down on your point, I'm going to show a grotesque picture that you will be shocked at when you see it. Hopefully I don't look like this now. But, in terms of people going, oh, my skin's messed up, I need to go to a dermatologist. No. So the picture I'm going to show you, you can put it up. This was when I was heavily inflamed. My gut was heavily inflamed. First of all, I was also living in an apartment that had a mold issue, but I was eating, I can't eat gluten. I didn't know that. And everything in my body that I was eating, it was coming out in my skin, my eyes, my forehead. It was all symmetrical. So that's how my doctor
Very
knew.
red and splotchy.
It hurt, it itched, it was all down my neck, all down my chest.
3 rounds of Chris Brown.
This isn't the worst picture. So and everyone's like, go to a dermatologist. And thank God my doctor, you can take it down, who is sort of holistic and said, this isn't a dermatologist issue. That's a symptom. They can put a Band-Aid on it. Let's do the gut work. And it changed my life. So I just want to sort of double down on what you're saying.
Gina, this is absolutely right. So what we are learning, Adam, I think, Gina, you just set it up so right. Our customers, we just fixed the gut issues. They tell us they're losing weight. They're telling us they're no longer taking the biologics anymore for autoimmune disease. Their acne is gone. Their eczema is gone. People tell them depression and anxiety. So we, in fact, just, our gut and brain are connected together, right? So we just published a paper, Adam. This is like groundbreaking stuff. In 4 months, just eating the right diet and our supplements, we showed your depression clinical score went down by 40%. Your anxiety went down by 36%. Your IBS, which is stomachache, the constipation, diarrhea, went down by 36%, and your diabetes by 30%. Think about that. Not even a drug does that, right? So this is, to me, let food be thy medicine, right? So this is something we got to start thinking about, that we can't rely on pharmaceutical companies to cure these diseases. For them, when you have a chronic disease, or like Gina had that eczema, they want a lifetime subscriber for their product. That's what they want.
The fluticasone propionate, I have gone through those tubes, and I trust me, and that's not good for you. So I absolutely agree.
So let's just go through the process and make sure we're clear on it. You get a blood sample in this case, or a stool sample in this case?
So brother, this is a kit. A Viome kit, right? You open it up. Inside there are two things. So we send you the kit at home. There's a toilet seat cover. You touch off a stool and few drops of your blood. You put them in a tube. It preserves your messenger RNA. So this is the part that I think most people don't realize. We are the only company in the world that looks at your gene expression. That means mRNA, that 4-letter word that has become really popular nowadays. We basically look at your messenger RNA in your body that tells us all the things that are going on, not what could have happened, because DNA tells you what could have happened. And remember, your DNA never changes. So if you gain 200 pounds, your DNA is the same. Whether you have eczema or you don't have eczema, your DNA is the same. But your gene expression is constantly changing, and that's what we measure. So to answer your question, we look at the blood, we look at the stool, and soon we'll be looking at saliva. And that gives us a whole picture of your body. Then we tell you in your app, this is what's happening. This is your immune health. This is your cellular health. This is your gut health. And what's your biological age? Not how old you are, how old your body is, right? And by the way, even though chronologically you may be aging, you can reduce your biological age. Now, surprise, I am 62. My biological age came down, in fact, year after year. Now I'm 49. So I'm hoping when I'm 70 years old, my biological age will be 35, and I'll be kicking ass of those 30-year-old kids who think they can still go out and create a company.
So once you then do the analysis, you were talking earlier about putting together a supplement that was specific for each person in each test. Like you were talking about elderberries and extract and things that, most of us don't have laying around or wouldn't be able to cobble together from the whole food. So how's that process work?
So basically we tell you what you need, and we literally make this box just for you. Every single ingredient your body needs in the quantity. And then what you get at home is just what you need, nothing that you don't. A capsule's made just for you. All the probiotics, all the prebiotics, everything that your body needs, and you get them every single month. And guess what? This is the best part. Most of the people who take supplements, and you ask them, hey, is it working for you? Well, I kind of feel better, but I don't know if it is really doing something or not. Well, I'm really worried about COVID, you mentioned. I'm taking all these supplements. Are they working for you? How do you know your immunity is better? I hope it is. Guess what? We don't say, just have faith. We say, look at the fact. This is your immune health right now. This is your inflammation right now. This is your propensity to catch infection, histamine. And now when you do a test again, you can see your scores again. So literally you can see what is going on. And if some things are not working, we just keep making sure it works for you. And that's our job, is to keep iterating, reiterating until it works for you. Not because it worked for Gina, it should work for Adam. Everything is designed for you. And our AI keeps getting better and better because now we have 250,000 people. So every person who joins benefited from everyone came before them. And when you join, you benefit everyone else. And that's really the flywheel. And this is one concept, Adam, I hope we can figure out for your show. how do we make sure that your show, every single show, it benefits from the previous shows? That means, how do you create a flywheel rather than every person who's listening to the first time or 100th time, it's the same experience? How do you make the experience better for the person who is 100th time listener versus first time listener, right? And if you can do that, you created a flywheel, because now you have the people who benefit more. Every person who joins you today, how do they benefit from all the people who came before them, right? And that to me is something once in any company you can create. If you sell water, my first customer gets the same experience as the 100,000 customer. First customer of Viome did not have the same experience than the 250,000 customer, because we have now learned of what works and what doesn't work. And that flywheel effect, no other company, now I put a moat around my business, right? And that to me is how you create a massively audacious company. The data we collect now, this is the beauty of it. Now we've actually just got FDA approval, Adam. This to me is a proud moment of a person who has no degree in science, never thought I would be a healthcare guy. We just got FDA breakthrough device approval for detecting stage 1 oral cancer and throat cancer with 97% specificity. Think about that, just by looking at your saliva. Now we are doing the same thing for colorectal cancer. We are developing a vaccine. We are working on autoimmune diseases. So we can predict 30 different diseases before they happen. So we don't simply tell you, you have your diabetes. We say, look, you are moving towards a person who has diabetes. You're moving towards it. Oh, look, now you're moving away from it because your now lifestyles have changed. Are you moving towards becoming someone who has a heart disease, or you're moving away from it? And that feedback loop tells you, hey, I need to keep down the path of good lifestyle versus bad. And the feedback loop is what's normally missing in all of the lifestyle, supplements stuff, because you don't know it is working or it's not working.
It's very true. Even guys like Dr. Drew, physicians, whomever, they're like, I don't know, maybe it works, maybe it doesn't work. It all sort of falls under the heading of couldn't hurt, so might as well go ahead and do it. And it makes my whiz a different color, so it must be doing something. That's right. But so how long? I mean, so this sounds diabolically interesting and smart, and you get your supplements made specifically for your gut. Then you retest to see what direction you're going. How long between you starting the supplements and the retesting?
So you can retest as often as you want, but we have a plan which essentially gives you the test for free today. So you can sign up for a plan. We give you the test kit at no cost. It's $199 a month. And then we send you supplement every month. Every 6 months, we retest you and readjust all your stuff. Or you can just buy the test and buy the supplement for $149, and you can do tests as often as you want. Every time you do a test, we readjust how your body had changed. So as your body is changing, not just your gut, how your host side, the blood is changing, how your inflammation is coming down, how your mitochondrial energy production is changing. And we keep adjusting as your body is changing. So you could do it every 3 months like I do, or you could do every 6 months. And it's really, to me, the 4 to 6 months is really the right number. So if you want to be really, really good about it, you change every 4 months. If you want, say, fine, I'm really healthy, I'll do every 6 months. But really, you got to constantly adjust because your body is constantly changing. It is not what it used to be. So every time you change your diet, your body changes. So you have to keep adjusting. And what we find here, Adam, which is really, really interesting, is people stay with our things. And the reason they stay is because they feel better. And that's the key. We stay focused on not making money. We stay focused on improving people, because once we do that, all the good things will happen, right? So the good things come to those who stay focused on making sure their customers benefit. And if you keep doing that, just like you do, Adam, today, like I have now, so last week I probably watched about half a dozen of your episodes. Just wanted to see, have you changed or are you the same person? And I really enjoy that how you bring the guest and how you really enliven the show. You really are really a great interviewer. A lot of the times you participate in the conversation, and a lot of the times you will just let the guest talk, right? And depending
Guess which
on
one this is.
Oh no! Fine, you got me there.
I may change a lot, but my attire pretty much stays consistently. Well, thank you, Naveen. And I'm very interested in the gut and the immune system. And can you speak lastly about COVID and the immune system and how it is so dramatically different for so many people? Personally, I've been traveling the country this entire time. I've been doing every single thing they tell you to avoid doing. I have been doing it. And for some reason, I haven't gotten COVID. I have a pretty good immune system. I don't get sick very often. I don't know if it's connected to that. I don't know if there's a connection, obviously, between your gut and your immune system. What do you know vis-a-vis COVID and the gut and the immune system?
So first of all, just remember, 70% of our immune system is along our gut line. Our microbes in our gut are constantly tuning and modulating our immune system. And when your immune system is healthy, guess what happens? Even if you are exposed to a virus, immune system instantly kills it. It doesn't let it replicate. So you never get a disease. Doesn't mean you didn't get the exposure, but your immune system is constantly killing it, which is what vaccine does. Because vaccine, all it's doing is training your immune system to actually go after that particular thing, right? But if your immune system is strong, guess what? You don't catch flu for the same reason, because at the end of the day, COVID is no different. It is an mRNA virus. It's an RNA virus just like a flu is an RNA virus. And a lot of people don't catch flu because their immune system is good. And your immune system becomes good for two reasons. One is, first of all, you don't take antibiotics because that really, really screwed up everything, right? When you take antibiotics, it kills your gut microbiome, your immune system gets really weak. So first thing you need to do is to make sure you're eating healthy. And I think you and I in the first episode, I still remember talking about the dishwasher. Should we use the dishwashing liquid or not? Because it literally has all the grease cutting stuff. And then you don't wash your plates right or you drink from the glass, guess what? All the dish liquid is going into your gut and cleaning up your gut lining, just like a grease, right? So point I was trying to make is you are healthy. I mean, you and I chatted before on our first time. You really do healthy lifestyle. And that is the reason.
I'm not a health nut. I have plenty of transgressions, but I grew up without antibiotics. I never took antibiotics and my entire life, mainly because I didn't have access to adequate health care. But I remember very specifically when I was 28, I had strep throat. Mm-hmm. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't talk. Now, the people who know me know I have a strong constitution. Yeah. And if I'm telling you, I went to the emergency room and just threw myself on the mercy of the court in North Hollywood, an emergency room at midnight, because that's how bad my throat was for how long it was. I ended up leaving because I didn't want to wait in line. I never ended up taking antibiotics or medicine, so I have a rich history of nothing when it comes to antibiotics. And then I have a rich history of exposing myself to dirt and eating cheese with mold on it and just all this stuff. Never used Perel, no hygiene whatsoever.
Just so much food off the ground.
Just food off the ground and junk that people would never put in their mouth, and I've eaten it all the time. So maybe
very good.
I set the table for myself this way with this extreme lack of hygiene.
And also, I think that also increases the diversity in your gut. It also trains your immune system to look for all those things. And once your immune system is very strong, it deals with everything else. Because really, what you've done is really build your immune system to deal with the things that most people don't know how to do it, right? And that's the reason people live on the cities. They grew up in these big concrete jungles, versus people who live on the farm. People who live on the farm rarely get sick because they are constantly in the cow poop to the chicken feed to everything, and they're constantly exposed and inhaling all the microbes, and that keeps their immune system strong. They don't come say, "Oh, I think it's spring. My nose is running. I got all kinds of allergies." They don't get allergies. They're always exposed to that, right? And that's really the key.
Yeah.
So
there's studies, simple stuff like people who have indoor-outdoor dogs don't get hay fever as much because they're being exposed. Amish don't get it because they spend so much time outside. Obviously, if you're in an apartment in Manhattan and you don't get out much, then you're more susceptible to it. So you don't know and I don't know, but I do feel like after breaking every COVID rule and doing all the stuff everyone told me not to do involving travel and live shows and groups and shaking hands and taking pictures with everyone and no one's wearing a mask, I must have been exposed to it countless times, I'm guessing. It's just something with my immune system where it didn't take. Whereas Dr. Drew got it and it got hit bad with it because he has a very different immune system than I do. Well,
that tells you, by the way, I'm not saying anything about Dr. Drew. That just tells you what he's selling. No one is buying. If that's not good for a brand. Buy the immune health from me. And by the way, oh my God, look at what happened to me.
I'll tell him you said that.
Oh, no.
I just got a text. He died. But anyway, now, so I see. I feel like most of the science 10 years ago was sort of heading toward the brain. But now I feel like most of the science is heading toward the gut.
Well, yeah. And when, like I said, when I've been going to my doctor for years and she's holistic in the sense of, what is not Band-Aid stuff? Where is it starting from? And people thought, oh, that's not a real doctor. And now we all think that way. What's going on in your gut? This is a symptom of something else.
And Gina, that is really the key, is that we all starting to realize that our medical industrial complex makes money when we are sick. It doesn't make money when we are healthy, right? Guess what? When you're looking at the holistic doctor, you're paying them out of your own pocket. They're looking at you trying to make you healthy because they're getting paid for keeping you healthy. Versus your medical system, they just want to prescribe you pills so they can cause more problems. And when the more problems, they give you more pills, right? How many of us are now taking anti-acid drugs like Nexium and PPI drugs, right? Guess what happens? That actually causes IBS, IBD, colorectal cancer. And by the way, Adam, you mentioned about the brain. That's really interesting. Gut and brain are connected to vagus nerve. What happens in the gut doesn't stay in the gut. It goes all the way to the brain. Now we can actually show, if you were to just Google depression and microbiome, you will see at least hundreds of articles that talk about it. In fact, as our own, when people who use Viome follow our supplement and diet, their depression comes down, their anxiety comes down. And again, I just want to make sure that if somebody is listening in FDA, I'm not making any claim. I'm just simply telling you, we published a paper that shows this. So please don't go out and say, hey guys, you said you cured our depression. No, I'm not curing anything right now. This is simply, I'm telling you what we saw in our research.
It's a smart disclaimer.
Well, let me tell people where to go. Viome.com. This is a really interesting breakthrough. I know for a fact the last time we spoke, you were doing the testing, but you weren't doing the sort of bespoke supplements, which makes sense. It's the next step.
Don't tell us what's wrong with us, but not how to fix it.
Yeah, Naveen, we'll speak off the air because I'm gonna get going with this stuff. And I love,
brother, why don't you should sign up for it, and I'm going to send you the kit to at least go ahead and experience it for yourself and Gina. So if you don't mind sending me and Chris, send me their address, I will send the stuff out to you. And I want you guys to experience it. Then you can talk about it and say how much better you feel now.
Perfect.
Thanks, Naveen Jain. We'll have you on much quicker than 3 years. Thanks, my friend.
Thanks a lot, brother. Talk to you soon.
Take care.
Thank you.
Man, that guy's got a motor, but I love it.
Yeah.
He let off with, I don't like talking about myself.
Well, he doesn't like talking about his history. He likes talking about what he's doing. But I just love dogs who hunt.
Well, and like he said, he's not a doctor. He doesn't come from medical, but he's like, what can I do? What do people need? Okay, we might need to go to space. We might need to look in our gut. He's a thinker.
Yeah. He has a personal momentum for sure that
Yeah.
I imagine is attractive to a lot of people.
Oh, yeah. And funny, infectious. I like that guy. All right, let me tell you about Hyundai Tucson. Hyundai questioned everything to create the best Tucson ever. Every inch of the new Tucson has been completely reimagined, resulting in an SUV loaded with innovations inside and out. From design to technology to safety, every aspect of the new Tucson has been improved and completely redesigned. It's a beautiful SUV. It is packed with technology. It is comparable to expensive SUVs at a much lower price. And I've really looked closely at this car, and I'm really impressed. Digital key allows you to use your phone as a spare key. Also, it's got a 10.25-inch full-touch infotainment screen, which is dynamic and works beautifully. Running lights stylishly hidden in the front grille. It's if you're looking for an SUV, look at the Tucson. You will definitely squeeze the trigger on the Tucson. And you can learn more at Hyundai.com. All right, let's take a quick break. Come back, do the news right after this.
Give me the news with Grad. News with Gina Grad. Breaking, viral, weird crime, protest, politics. Give me news with Gina Grad. Stuff they saw on TMZ. Joe Biden. Kamala, meet news with Gina Grad.
The news with Gina Grad.
Well, we know the major stuff that's going on with COVID right now and with new policy, but there's a lot of companies that are now trying to offer incentives to their employees to get vaccinated. There are some where you get, 3 hours off, say from, I think, the Dollar Tree store if you're an employee for each vaccine you get. Or, there's certain lottery systems in Ohio, and these are all incentives for vaccinated people. But in Chicago,
What's the lottery system?
I literally just saw it come up on my phone, so hopefully Chris can help me out.
I'll let you
but
get on with
they're doing anything they can to make sure people get vaxxed.
But is it a lottery system, or you get some scratchers?
I think.
I mean, we're talking about incentive
right.
to get
It could be wrong. I think there's a pool of people who've been vaxxed, and it's like a lottery. Like you could get picked for a free college education.
I see that.
That
right.
kind of thing.
Okay.
But in Chicago, fully vaccinated people don't count towards capacity limits at businesses like bars and restaurants and all that kind of stuff. Mayor Lori Lightfoot cited the loosening of restrictions with an increase in the vaccine. The new phase allows for higher capacity limits at museums and zoos and events and all kinds of things. She tweeted, starting 5/14, which I believe is today as you hear this, businesses can exempt fully vaccinated individuals from capacity limits across all industries as part of the bridge phase of our reopening plan. Restaurants and bars can also seat parties larger than 10 people if they're all vaxxed. So I guess we show our cards, don't lose that.
Yeah, I mean, why, if you're vaccinated, you can't give it, you can't get it, then why are you counting toward the capacity if it's a reduced capacity?
And now we're talking about common sense, in leadership.
Mm-hmm. So you just show them you've been vaccinated?
Yeah, I would imagine you show the hostess.
Well, pardon me for slipping into slippery slope guy, but it starts off with a vaccination card. And next thing you know, they want to know your astrological sign, or you and your daughter can't get into the Shake Shack. And after that, they want to see your tattoo to see if you're a Jew. So that's where this goes.
That's a scary
Wait a second. I don't feel as good about this as I did.
Mm-hmm. There's not a damn thing you can do about it.
They're literally asking for your papers.
They're literally asking for your papers.
Okay, I don't like this. Never mind. Big congratulations to Vladimir Putin. I mean, we knew he was, the handsomest man in Russia, and we knew he was the most powerful, and
he's the tallest man under 5'11" in Russia.
That's
Do you
exactly
guys know that?
By far.
That's exactly right. He's also the best hockey player in all of Russia. An all-star hockey game in Russia featuring prominent businessmen and politicians. I'm just going to play some of this while I tell you about it, and because it's all narrated in Russian. Politicians, former professional hockey players, they had a blowout game because they had Vladimir Putin on their team. Putin scored 8
I don't
goals.
know. I might take the other team and the points.
8 goals for his Hockey Legends team against the Night Hockey team. The Night Hockey League is a Russian amateur hockey tournament founded by Putin in 2011.
Oh my God.
It's customary for Vladimir to play on the Legends team.
We're watching him shoot on goal while the other team stands around afraid to make a defensive move.
That's exactly right. The opposing team seemed not to play very much defense against Russia's leader, who scored 8 goals and was named VIP or MVP.
It's like a romantic comedy.
Fist bumping everybody.
One of these.
He's dominating us.
So he's playing, right? And there's some ex-Soviet hockey pro that's out there. And at some point, Putin's getting dressed and he switches jerseys with another guy because this one's got too small or something like that.
Here,
and
take mine, Premier.
And that guy sees this guy like against the boards and
Not
just
today.
goes full, forearm shiver and takes him. And and they realize it's Putin. And now he's got to come to he's got to come to Green Bay, Wisconsin to flee. Because the Red Guard's after him.
Dear
He's got a
leader.
bounty on his head.
That's
But he's
right.
got to try to blend in at like a tractor supply
like this,
store.
yeah.
Fish out of water.
Yeah.
Meets single cashier, mother of special
Right.
needs.
Yeah.
Love has to be found.
Sure.
He starts coaching her kid.
Right. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And
Great hockey
they have
player.
those weird, they have those scenes where, let's just say, they always have to have this scene in the movie. So he's dating, what's her name from 27 Dresses? We'll put her in there.
Katherine Heigl.
Katherine Heigl. That's the single mom,
Yeah.
So this guy was an ex-hockey pro who also was a Red Guard, CIA, whatever the Ruski version of the Presidential Protection Squad was, So he's that dude. So they have that scene, but he's pretending like he's an aw shucks kind of guy, like he's a student from Ukraine or something like that. But they have to have that scene where his special skills show through or something. And they have that scene where like they're walking out to the car, his truck at night, the tractor supply, and like street thug comes up and like pulls the gun on him and like, I want your purse. And he does a Krav Maga, like grabs the gun and hands him down. And then
he dismantles the gun.
Yeah, and then she looks at him like stunned, like, and then he kind of drops the gun. Like,
my dad was Hunter.
Yeah, I didn't even know what I was doing. Teaches
good.
the special needs kid to play
Beginner's
hockey.
luck.
Yeah, right. Oh, this is a good movie.
This is good. I'd see this.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Oh, let's see. Red Check.
Red Line.
Red Line.
Yeah,
They already had. There's already a fine film named Red Line.
Okay. You guys think about it. Get back to me.
Yeah.
Well, this sounds like another movie that could be made. A black man has been accused of robbing a series of LA homes while wearing a very realistic mask that made him look like a white man. Now, it's from a distance you would think that was a person, right?
Yeah.
A security camera or something.
Rakeem Prowl, he's 30.
Sorry, Rakeem, but when I see white guys involved with crime, I just assume
He's there for a reason.
there's a black guy wearing a mask.
That's right.
I mean, that's the way I look at it anyway. So.
And you'd be right one of the times.
Form-fitting mask.
He's been charged with 2 counts each of burglary, grand theft, and 1 count of vandalism, according to Beverly Hills Police.
Impossible shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Officers investigating a string of burglaries in Beverly Hills had noticed the suspect's mouth was always open in closed CCTV footage.
Duh.
He was arrested on May 2nd during a traffic stop, with officers finding the mask and other items connected to the burglaries in the car. A further search of his home revealed more stolen items in connection to the burglaries. He was released from police custody. He'll appear in court on May 25th.
That's cultural appropriation.
Yeah,
That's
man.
right.
I'm pissed.
I'm outraged.
Yeah. Kind of diabolical.
I was going to say, this worked for a while.
Yeah, got a wig.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it looks creepy for sure, but if you're not sure what you're looking at, it looks like a person.
That's got to be that's a weird move for the cop. When you pop the trunk and you find, like the North Hollywood bank robberies, you have a police scanner and zip ties and magazines and stuff. It's got to be a weird walk or back to the window of the car. Just your car? Yeah. Ugh. Creepy finding masks.
Yeah.
Masks are creepier off than they are on.
Oh,
absolutely.
Interesting.
This mask is creepier off this guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of there you go. It's what would be sold as flesh tone, but so isn't.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
it's a weird color.
Yeah, that's Burn Victim.
Yeah.
Had another sitcom idea here. He starts wearing the mask so much and robbing so many houses that he starts to feel white. You know what I mean?
Yep,
Like
I know exactly what you mean.
Right.
He gets back and he says, and his friend comes over and goes, "Hey man, you want to watch the Lakers game? Well, we'll watch tennis for a change."
There's a golf match
the
on.
the Masters.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rory McIlroy's head up by 2
Yeah.
strokes at the Masters.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
real good.
Yeah.
You guys think of a name of that while I
We
read the
keep
next
going.
story. Okay.
Red line
Red line.
in the crease.
Conor McGregor is the world's highest earning athlete, taking in a whopping, any guesses?
Well, this is with his booze company.
Is he still earning?
Well, remember when like Jay-Z was the highest earning rapper, but he had so many other gigs, companies. But this is according to Forbes.
If
Do you
he's
wanna-
the highest, it's got to be 200 million or more.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking 150 plus.
You guys can split it. 180 million last year. The MMA star, however, made his money outside the octagon.
Yeah, he's lost his last couple of fights, I think. He lost.
Well, 22 million came from a fight he lost to
Right.
Dustin, is it Poirier?
Yeah.
At UFC 257. Most of the rest of his earnings came from his whiskey brand, Proper Number 12. Remember, he beat the shit out of that guy for not drinking it and banned him from the bar. This is the first time he's topped the list. I have some other people.
Well, he bought the bar and then banned it,
That's right, yes.
Dan
That's a
Dunn should
power
bring
move.
it in. We should talk shit about it.
Despite the that'll lure him over to us. Despite the
he
lockdown.
won. Yeah, beat Donald Cerrone and Cowboy Cerrone, as I call him, 2 fights ago. That's January 2020. All right. Is that January 2020? Yeah, it was. I remember it because it was right before everything was closing down.
I have the top 10 highest paid athletes of 2020. Yes, there are a couple soccer dudes on it.
So this is obviously from everything.
Right.
Well, LeBron's got to be top 3. Right? No?
5.
Oh, well, that's still pretty-
96.5 million. I'll go from 10 to 1. Kevin Durant, 75 million. Tom Brady, 76 million. Lewis Hamilton, 82 million. Roger Federer, 90 million. Neymar, 95. LeBron James, 96.5. Dak Prescott, 107.5.
Wow, with
He got
that injury.
paid.
Cristiano Ronaldo, 120. Lionel Messi, 130. And Conor McGregor, 180.
We are losing our grip, people.
I will. I'll be my mom. You kick a ball
For a living.
Throwing
Play the
meadow.
game.
$1 million for kicking a ball? Do you know how much teachers are getting paid in the inner city
do
for
they get to
teaching
kick balls?
special needs dolphins? And you kick a ball? Does anyone deserve? By the way, I always love this one. This is how you know your parents are fucking losers. What are you gonna do with 100 grand? I don't
I think a
know.
couple
All
things.
the shit we don't do, bitch. Vacations, second car,
Right, second
first car that runs.
Yeah. Our own house.
The exotic second bathroom we've
Right.
heard so much about. All those crazy
Heat,
things.
air.
Eat somewhere other than standing up in the fucking kitchen. Like, this is it. Central heat,
Utensils,
central
the
air.
A yearbook.
Ooh, you could get my sister a retainer. These are all crazy exotic
Yeah.
things.
A Letterman jacket that I earned and can't buy.
I could ride a Schwinn instead of a Huffy. I could wear Levi's instead of Toughskins. The world would be our oyster.
This is just the start.
Yeah, that's just the first
We
million.
can leave this house, this town,
That's right.
the state.
Yeah, you know those pictures of people skiing? We could be one of those people.
Yeah.
So many things.
Oh.
College, orthodonture.
Oh, my God.
I mean,
The
it
list is
just
endless.
Line
keeps
boggles.
going. People, but down the road, you could pay for other people's weddings.
Right.
The mind is numb. Think about
reeling.
all the possibilities.
We could drive to the ocean and get back.
We could fill up the car with gas instead of doing $7 at a time.
Yeah.
The weird, exotic things
Let
of
your
that
mind
nature.
go. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about another innovator, Hans Zimmer, who I'm sure you're familiar
I could
with. Yes.
own a down jacket with actual goose feathers
Oh.
in it instead of Dacron Pile. Crazy shit.
Yeah.
Exotic stuff.
It'll never happen.
Never going to happen.
Hans Zimmer is a famous Hollywood.
We wouldn't have to argue over the condition of the shoes I was wearing currently that would factor in heavily into buying a second pair. She's like, you got another 4 months on those? Come on.
Oh, you could have all the Tupperware your heart desires. You don't have to bring your lunch in a mayonnaise
Don't
jar.
bother running in the
Oh,
bottom.
my God.
Yeah.
The things we could have done with
Yeah.
that $120 million.
She just wasn't a forward thinker.
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
Well, guess who is? Hans Zimmer. He is, of course, the famous Hollywood composer. You've heard his music in a million things. Inception, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Adam is not.
Oh, yeah.
Lion King.
He's Miami Vice, right? Isn't that?
That's Jan Hammer.
Jan Hammer, Hans Zimmer. I don't
Tomato,
trust
tomato.
either one of them.
Well, he has now you will be interested in this. He's now composed.
Hold on. I
Yes.
like when people sing song themselves, right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, Hans Zimmer, that's Miami Vice, right?
Jan Hammer.
Jan Hammer, Hans Zimmer, whatever. I just
Sorry, Your
sing-songed
Highness.
myself correct.
Oh, I know everything about composers.
Yeah.
Or you made it so demeaning that you just want to move, like Brian wants to move on now.
Even though it was right, I feel
Right.
ashamed.
Sorry, I'm not obsessed with composers. They turn in that weird obsession that you have. right?
Yep. He has now composed driving sounds for the electric vehicle from BMW, according to Autoblog, and I'm going to play it for you. Electric cars, as you know, are pretty much silent. So BMW hired Zimmer to give some of their new vroom sound to the cars.
Okay.
And I watched the whole video. It's like 10 minutes long, but I'm just going to show you the very end. Here's a clip from the M-Car promo featuring Hans Zimmer and the sound that it's going to make.
So I keep thinking, we can go further with these sounds because the sportiness, the whole philosophy behind the M cars, and I think behind the drivers that drive it, is that they're a little bit more ready for a bit of an experiment, for a little bit something new and something unusual.
So that's going to be the pre-programmed sound in your silent electric vehicle.
Is it
internal or external?
Thank you, Brian. That's
Is that really your question?
That's
You mean, does it come through your speaker or does it come through your engine?
Can you hear it inside or does it project out to the world?
I assumed it's the inside because it's all about the driver experience. I mean,
well,
that's what they're talking
there is
about in the
some-
promo.
All right, so there's a couple things. Well, first off, you can listen to other Hans Zimmer songs, like you could listen to Miami Vice.
Or anything.
Or anything.
Jan Hammer?
Jan Hammer, Hans Zimmer. Whoa, sorry. But I was walking up the street there, and you guys all probably experienced this by now. Like I was walking down a street in Malibu and had kind of an electric car come up on me. Like you do not hear the
Right.
cars.
And I think the new ones have to. I think the new ones have to have sound. Because a girlfriend of mine got an electric car, and I was like, ooh, that's a crazy sound. She's like, yeah, they all come with this now.
Well, it's interesting, and I wonder if that.
Gary might know
knows.
something.
Does that sound in the cabin or coming off the front grill?
What Gina's talking about is coming off either the front or the rear grill, and it's only at low speeds, so it's only like under 10 miles an hour. So when you're in a parking lot or something,
What is the sound it makes?
It varies from producer to producer,
Yeah.
but they just have to have something. It's an alert for pedestrians.
So there's some sort of.
There's an external speaker grill, like usually under the back bumper.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to think of the sanctioning body. Not CAFE,
the
but
FAA,
National
the
Highway Traffic Safety Association.
NTSC.
Yeah, it'll pop in our head. But anyway, they probably have some minimal decimal thing that it needs to be at because they got to regulate it somehow.
Oh, so they're interested in regulating the minimum, but not the maximum when it comes to construction sites.
Right. So then the Hans Zimmer one, or wait a minute, now my head's swimming. Is it still Hans Zimmer?
Hans Zimmer.
Is that we still don't know if that's
a good
inside or
question.
outside.
I assume because the whole
hold
thing they're
on.
talking about the driver.
Shit, I was trying to think of DOT, Department of
Transportation.
Transportation. Yes,
Yeah.
DOT approved.
I'm sure it's in there. I mean, I definitely was assuming because they're like the driver experience. This is the kind of driver who wants more, who's ready for more.
While Chris looks that up, side tangential note, one thing that's really suffered in movies, not suffered, gone away, let's say, in movies, iconic scores. All the Indiana Jones, Star Wars, Superman, on and on, Jurassic Park. When's the last time there was an iconic, like a score you could hum?
Yeah, Gladiator was awesome.
It's great, but could you hum the Gladiator tune?
Well, no, but that was 20 years ago.
No, right,
Like,
but,
I mean,
Lord of the Rings, maybe.
Yeah.
But it's really pure. And to that point, Hans Zimmer had created, like some people love it, some people hate it, created an iconic sound for Inception or Batman or whatever. Like, that was an iconic sound.
But it's funny that you brought up all the John Williams movies, because that's always my conversation piece, which is you have Superman, Star Wars, and Indiana Jones. Which one do you feel most connected to / which one's your favorite? Mine is Indiana Jones.
we're kind of living in a Trent Reznor world. Not big symphonic scores with weird kind of moody, kitschy stuff. I don't like it. Yeah, well, it's kind of gone the same way as the Oscars with the film of the year, you know. It's like best film. It's like they've gotten small and nobody knows. Half people didn't see them. All right, let's bring it home, Gina Grad.
You got it. I'm Gina Grad, and that's the news.
Bye-bye, Adam.
Gina
That was the news with Gina Grad.
Air Medcare Network health insurance doesn't always cover the cost of an emergency medical flight. Even with comprehensive coverage, you could get hit with a substantial copay and deductibles. Plan ahead in an emergency. Air Medcare networks of highly trained crews provide air medical transport to the nearest, most appropriate trauma center. With an Air Medcare Network membership, you pay no out-of-pocket expenses for the flight. An AMCN membership covers your entire household for as little as $85 a year. Secure your financial peace of mind. As a listener, you'll get up to a $50 e-gift card with a new membership. So protect your family for just $85 a year, and that includes the entire household. And you'll be eligible for the $50 e-gift card with the new membership. Visit airmedcarenetwork.com/Adam. Use the code Adam. All right, Naveen Jain, everybody. Fired out of a cannon. Love that guy, but interesting stuff, man. Live events, Los Angeles, Jam in the Van, May 22nd, doing a live pod. Brian's walking there with his bucket of whiz. So come on out and press the flesh,
I'll sign
man.
it for you.
Also, Dawson's record. He's got an announcement.
Yeah, new record is out. We just got a big order for 400 copies of vinyl, so I'm closing up the pre-sale. You can right now, if you really want a vinyl record, I'm placing the order on Monday, so this is your last weekend to do it at thesmokingkills.com. Thank you.
And Golden, Colorado coming up. Anchorage, Alaska, Cooch, July 3rd. You just go to amcroll.com. Royal Oak, Michigan coming up. Kansas City, Missouri. Arvis Bank Theater. Just go to amcroll.com for all the live shows. Until next time, it's Adam for Gina, Naveen, and Bald. Say it. Mahalo.
Black men, I love you.